Should you charge your phone overnight? What about charging your iPhone with an iPad adapter? We are here to debunk some of the most common misconceptions out there. And without any further ado, let's get started. So often we use these smartphones and devices in our day-to-day life, and there's so many information out there, some of it really true, some of it are not. So it creates a lot of myths and misconceptions in our community. So let's start the list. Yes, Apple computers are as much vulnerable to malware viruses as it is on Windows PC. Now, Apple used to really brag about their computers not being as vulnerable to viruses as Windows PC, but the company changed its marketing page after a Trojan destroyed 1,000 Mac computers in 2012. Now, a lot of you people think that incognito mode or private browsing in your browsers makes you invisible. It's actually not the fact. Think of it like this. When you're using incognito mode on Chrome browser or private browsing on Safari or Firefox, let's say, it's just keeping your browser from saving the history, from importing your bookmarks or automatically logging you in one of your accounts. It is a really handy tool for other people not seeing what you're doing, but it does not make you invisible to your internet provider or the sites you're visiting. They can still see what you're doing, so think twice before you visit a site you shouldn't. Now, this is something that I used to face a few years ago myself, because I actually charge my phone overnight, and I still do. Now, many people think that leaving your phone plugged in overnight is really harmful for your batteries, but it actually isn't the fact, because modern day smartphones use lithium-ion batteries, which are really smart. They stop taking in any kind of input, or let's say electricity, when it's in its full capacity. So when your phone hits 100%, they will not intake any kind of. There are also many people think that you should not charge your phone until it hits zero. Now, it's actually the opposite. You should charge your phone before it hits zero. The battery depends on charge cycles, and it is actually like the ability to go from 0 to 100. Going from 0 to 100 is one cycle, and the number of time a battery can have those cycles is really limited. So if you are charging your phone before it is getting to zero, it's actually elongating the life of your battery. Now, what is the difference between a 12 megapixel camera and, let's say, a 8 megapixel camera? Actually, it is not really much, because the quality of the image doesn't really depend on only the number of megapixels. It actually depends on the size, and there are also many other form factors that is involved: the sensor that is used, the size of the sensor, the hardware, software stabilizations, and many other things. So let's say if you have a 12 megapixel camera, the chances are it will not actually perform as much as the 8 megapixel camera can if it has a bigger sensor or bigger size of pixels. Most of the smartphones that is coming out today or these days, let's say the modern day smartphones, actually have 2560 by 1440 display resolution. All the flagship devices do so. Now, actually, is it really important? By expert opinions, it is not actually, because a normal human eye cannot differentiate between so many nitty details when display is packed with like more than 300 pixels. So it is actually not really necessary for you to have a 2560 by 1440 display to have a really good resolution. So it is not actually really easy to answer this question. It is not just a simple yes or no, because Apple says their 12-watt iPad charger is able to charge both. But experts say that if you're using your iPad charger to charge your iPhone, it may or may not affect your iPhone battery, but it will take at least 1 year to have any kind of effect that is noticeable. Now, most people actually just puts their laptop or computer to sleep mode because it's really easy to just get back up and start working as before, because you do not need to spend much time for the device to boot up. But it's not really good for your device, because if you're shutting it down, it conserves power, it conserves the components of your device, because it is not being used at that time. So it's really better to just shut it down. If you are a 90s kid, you are going to remember that it was really easy to erase all the data from your floppy disk, but it's not really the case here right now, right these days, because it's not easy to wipe your hard drive with just a magnet that is from your headphone or the fridge magnets. So it will take actually a really big electromagnetic field that focuses its whole magnetic power in one point to actually delete all the devices, all the data from your hard drive. Cell phones do actually emit radiation that is absorbed by the human tissue, but does it cause cancer, or does it actually have any harmful effect on ourselves? That is still really unsure. There is still no scientific evidence from the study that has been done on cell, humans, or animals that indicates that radio frequency causes harm to our body. Now, the number of bars that you see on your smartphone is just an indication of how close you are to the closest or next tower. It does not give you the hint of reception. So having a good signal does not actually mean having good reception, but there are also many other factors that play into that role. This was it for today, guys. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys got to know something new. If you did, please subscribe to this channel, and if you already have, then thank you very much. Like this video, and if you want to get updated whenever I upload, please press that bell icon. This was Ed. This is me, Tech Savage. Be safe, be savage.